Hello class, welcome. On the onset of online learning class, I am your English teacher Gaurav Rai. I welcome you once again in class 7th, Honeycomb, chapter number 2nd, A Gift of Chappals. Mridu is a young girl growing up in Madras, now called Chennai, with Tapi, her grandmother, and Tata, her grandfather. One afternoon, Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukumani's house to meet her cousins Lali, Rabi, and Meena. So come on the chapter, A Gift of Chappals. Chappals means the gift is chappal. Understand? So come on the topic. A smiling Rukumani threw open the door. Rabi and Meena rushed out, and Rabi pulled Mridu into the house. Wait, let me take off my slippers, protested Mridu. Smiling Rukumani. In this story, we get that Mridu is a young girl who has grown in Madras, now called Chennai. She lived with her Tapi. Tapi means grandmother, and Tata, grandfather. One afternoon, her Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukumani's house. So when she reached Rukumani's house, Rukumani threw open means threw open the door, came out and opened the door, and Rabi and Meena rushed out. Rushed out means came out. Rabi and Meena came out from the window, and Rabi dragged Mridu inside the house. Wait, let me take off my slippers. And Mridu said that, wait, and let me put off my slippers. Mridu protested, objected. She set them out neatly near a pair of large black ones. Those were grey, actually with dust. You could see the clear mark of every toe on the front part of each slipper. And after that, Mridu put her slippers. There was a large black ones neatly near pair of large black ones. Slippers were there. Those were grey in color, but actually filled with dust. And anyone can see every toe mark on the front part of each slipper, in a pair of slippers. The marks were two big toes. Two big toes marks were long and scrawny. Scrawny means thin, skinny toes. Mridu did not have much time to wonder about whose slippers they were, because Rabi dragged her to the backyard behind the thick bitter berry bush. After that, what had happened? Mridu did not have much time to think about whose slippers they were, because Rabi pulled Mridu inside the backyard. Backyard means the back place behind the house. He brought the back area behind the house. There was a thick bitter berry bush. A type of bush. There, inside a torn footwall lined with a sacking and filled with sand, lay a very small kitten lapping up milk from a coconut half shell. When Mridu came there with Rabi, they got there a torn football. There was a torn football, and lined with a sacking, there was a lining, and the football was made of jute that is used to make a jute bag. Suppose that there was lining on the torn football, and sand was filled inside the football. lay a very small kitten. There was a small kitten, baby kitten of the cat, lapping up, licking, lapping means licking. She was taking milk from, she was taking the relish, taking the delight of milk from her lip, from a coconut half shell. We found him outside the gate this morning. He was mewing and mewing, poor thing, said Mina. Mina said that we found him outside the gate, the kitten, and the poor thing is that the kitten he was mewing. The term is used for the cat is here he. He was mewing. Mewing means crying, crying and crying. The poor thing, the bad thing. It is a secret. What is the secret? Amma says Pati will leave our for our Paddu Mama's house if she knows we have a cat. The secret is that Amma will leave. Amma, mother says, Pati means grandmother, will leave for our Paddu Mama's house. If grandmother will know that people are always telling us to be kind to animals, but when we are, they scream. The people opinion is that to be kind to animals especially, but when we are kind for animals, people start to scream means cry. Oof, don't bring that dirty creature here, said Rabi. People said that don't bring that dirty creature here. Do you know how hard it is just to get a little milk from the kitchen? Pati saw me with a glass in my hand just now. I told her I am very hungry. I want to drink it. But the way she looked at me, I had to drink most of it to throw her off the scent. Ravi said that it is very difficult for him to bring milk from the kitchen for the kitten. Pati saw me with a glass of milk in my hand just now. I told her I am hungry. It means that Rabi felt difficulty to get milk for the kitten, and he had to say that he is hungry and he wants to drink the milk. In this way he gets milk for kitten. But Pati was always suspicious, in doubt that Rabi is taking milk for other. So for it, Rabi had to drink. Here is a line: throw her off the scent. Throw off her throw her off the scent. It means that Rabi had to mislead the Pati, mislead her so that she would not understand the real purpose. For misleading her grandmother, he had to drink the milk in glass, some portion. I will wash it myself. Then she wanted the tumbler back. Pati, I will wash it myself. Why should I put you to trouble? I told her. After that, she needed tumbler back. Tumbler means glass of milk. And after that, Ravi said that Pati, I Pati, I will wash it myself. Why should I put you to trouble? Why you will come in trouble for me? I will wash the tumbler. I had to run and pour the milk into this coconut shell and then run back and wash the tumbler and put it back before she got really suspicious. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahendran. So, when he got the milk, he ran quickly and put the milk into the coconut half shell and run back and wash the tumbler glass and put it back so that Pati didn't become suspicious, come in suspense. Now he wanted to think some special plan, other way to feed Mahendran. Mahendran means, come on the next line we can understand. Mahendran, this little kitty's name. Mahendran, Mridu was impressed. It was a real name, not just a cute kitty cat name. Mahendran. Mridu was in doubt. She questioned Mahendran, this little kitty's name, Mahendran. Mridu was impressed. It was not a real name, not just a cute kitty cat name. Actually, his full name is Mahendra Varman Pallava Punai, MP Punai for short, if you like. He has a fine breed of a cat. Just look at his fur like lion's mane, and you know what the emblem of the ancient Pallava king was, don't you? Looked expectantly at Mridu. Rabi was telling that his actually the name is Mahendra Varman Pallava Punai. In short form, you can say it MP Punai. He is a fine breed. He is a fine quality of cat. Fine production of the cat. Is a fine breed, fine quality, special quality. Just look at his fur. It is like lion's mane. You have seen the hair on the lion's neck. That is very soft. And he asks the question to Mridu that you know that what is the emblem of ancient Pallava king? Don't you? Looked expectantly at Mridu. Rabi wanted to know about the answer of the question, so he looked in doubt, in suspense towards Mridu. Mridu giggled. Giggled means laughed in a silly way, foolishly. Think I am joking? Well, just wait. I will see. I will show you sometime. It's clear you don't know a thing about history. Have not been to Mahabalipuram, have you? He said mysteriously. Well, when our class went to Mahabalipuram, I saw a statue of his tathas, etc., etc. Think I am joking? Rabi is saying that you are thinking that I am joking. Just wait. I will show you sometime. It's clear you don't know. It's clear that you don't know about the history because you have not been to Mahabalipuram. He said mysteriously. When our class went to Mahabalipuram, I saw the statue of Mahendran. I saw the statue of Mahendran's Tathas, grandfathers, Tathas, etc. Fact is, Mahendran here is a descended from that very same ancient cat, a close relative, scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion. And the fact is that Mahendran is a descended means we can say that belongs from the same family. Their tathas are their ancestors. a close relative, scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion. And we can scientifically say that none other than the lion. The Pallava lion emblem of the Pallava dynasty. The Pallava lion was emblem of Pallava dynasty. Ravi went on walking around the beater where he was waving a twig up and down, his eyes sparkling. This cat is a descendant of none other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. And if I may just remind you, they worshipped cats in ancient Egypt. Ravi was continued. He was walking near the around the bitterberry bush. He was waving a twig, small branches of up and down, his eyes sparkling. Eyes was Rabi's eyes were looking sparkled, lightened. This cat, he said that this cat is descendant belonging from the same family. None other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, belonging to the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, the cat breed, Rishi cat. And if I am, just remind you, after that he said that Mahabalipuram, the dynasty of Mahabalipuram, Pallava dynasty, they worshipped cats. And also in ancient Egypt, cat is also worshipped. Come on the next page. How he loved the sound of his own voice. Meena and Mridu exchanged look. Meena and Mridu looked to each other and they were getting that the cat was very happy. What does that have to do with anything? Mridu demanded. Mridu said that, what does that have to do with anything? Who? I am telling you, this cat is descended from the Egyptian cat god, not no goddess Bastet. Yeah, that is it. Ravi said that I am telling you the reality. The cat is descended. The cat is belonging from the ancestors of Egyptian cat. Goddess, not god. And the name of the goddess is Bastet. So, well, one of the descendants of that cat goddess was stowed away in one of the Pallava ships, and his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, and whose descendant is Ravi Forest's twig at Mahendra, MP Punai here. Whoop, eek, he shrieked, very pleased with himself. Well, Ravi said that, and one of the descendants, one of the ancestors of that cat, of that cat goddess, was stowed away. Stowed away means hidden in one of the Pallava ships, and his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, and his descendant means the descendant of MP Punai Mahendran ancestor was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. There is a special breed named Rishi cat, and whose descendant is, and from the same family Mahendran belongs. MP Punai here. Whoop ik. On that time there was a shriek. Whoop. There was a cry, loud cry. Whoop means loud cry. He shrieked. He screamed. Ravi screamed, cried, shrieked. Very pleased with himself because Ravi was very happy after providing the information regarding Mahendran. Mahendran looked up, alarmed. He had just been sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell, but worse than Rabi's awful whoop, eek was a screech from the window. And what had happened? Mahendran looked up, alarmed. Here's the word alarmed. Alarmed means surprised, afraid. Mahendran looked up, alarmed, afraid of. He had just been sharpening. On that time, Mahendran was sharpening, rubbing his claws on the edge of the coconut shell. But worse, very bad, than Rabi's awful. Awful means terrible whoop. Whoop means cry. Eek was a screech. On that time, there was sound, there was a loud sound, screech, and that was very worse than Rabi's eek sound, and that was coming from the window. What a weird sound! Weird means strange, unusual sound. If Mridu was startled, and Mridu was startled, surprised. MP Punai was frightened, and the cat MP Punai became frightened, means afraid of, out of his wits. Mahendran became confused. Here, standing on end, he bounced up and scurried towards the bamboo tray of red chilies that had been set out to dry. And after becoming confused, Mahendran, cat, he bounced, jumped, and scurried, means ran away towards the bamboo tray. There was a bamboo tray made of bamboo tray, and there was in bamboo tray red chilies were kept, set out to dry in sun, trying to hide beneath it. And Mahendran started to hide himself beneath, under the tray, bamboo tray. And on that time, he tipped a few chilies. When he struck, few chilies came over his body. Mew, he howled miserably. And on that time, howled means he cried pitiably. He cried in sorrow, cried in pain. The screeching went on and on. What's that noise? Said Mridu. The screeching, the sound, strange sound that was coming, was continued. What is that? Mridu was questioning. That's Lalli learning to play the violin, grunted Rabi. Rabi replied that Lalli is learning to play the instrument violin. Grunted Rabi. Grunted means he make a harsh sound, just like a pig's. She will never learn a thing. The music master just goes on playing like a train, whizzing on and on, while Lalli all the time derailing, going completely off track. Lalli will never learn a thing. Music master just goes on playing. He always playing in a proper way, just like a train, whizzing, making a whizzing sound, hushing sound. While you have seen the rail train, on that time, when the train will run on the track, the train will make whizzing. Whizzing means making hushing sound, hissing sound, hushing, on and on. While Lalli all the time derailed from the track, Lalli was not going just like a train on the track, going completely off track. Come on the second part. Mridu crept up to the window. Lalli was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bow string, her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. After that, three of them, Mridu, Meena, and Rabi, They went near the window, and that time Lally was sitting little distance away. Awkwardly, clumsily, very badly, held the she held the bowstring, the string, bowstring, and her elbow jutting means not in a projecting. Jutting means projecting, not in a proper way. Means his elbow was turned, not in a proper way, jutting, and her eyes glazed, and her eyes were looking glazed, shining, looking brightening, and she was in concentration. She was concentrate. She put the bowstring awkwardly, but she was concentrated. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure of the music teacher, music master. He had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and old-fashioned tuft. Here is a description of the personality of the music teacher. And in front of Lally, her music teacher was his back portion towards the window. He was bony figure. He has a bony figure. He was a thin, and he had mostly bald head. Bald head means on his head we can't get hair, bereft of hair, and with a fringe of oiled black hair, and we can get fringe. Fringe means we can get the outer part of a hair. We can get some hair, fringe, fringe of oiled black hair. We can say in Hindi, जूड़ा जिसको बोलते हैं, we can say it, the fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears, and looking as an old-fashioned tuft. It was binded in a bunch. Old-fashioned tuft. Fringe means here the hair was falling near his neck, and a gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and he wore a gold chain in his neck. A diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. When he was playing the violin, on that time, the diamond ring glittered, sparkled, looking sparkled on his hand when he was glided up, moving his hand up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vesty edge, and he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe, and his large foot stuck out. Means we can say that his large foot was stuck out from beneath the gold, from beneath means gold bordered vesty. Vesty means we can say in Hindi dhoti. His large foot was stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vesty edge, and he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe, and he was time to time beating his toe on the floor, scrawny big toe, with his scrawny means thin big toe on the earth. He played a few notes. Lally stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. When music master played a few notes, Lally stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. When music master was playing, he got that Lally was helpless. When music master was playing the violin, and another hand, Lally was always stumbled, followed haltingly means she stopped to play the violin. She was looking helpless with bowstring in her hand, with violin in her hand. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. And there is a great difference. The music master notes seem to float up and settle. Music master notes look settled. It was just like a whizzing train and float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. Suppose that you can hear the music at night from your home, from any place, because with the help of ear, and the melody of sweet sound can be heard from any place, and it was mingled with invisible tracks of the melody. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. As Ravi said that the music master notes are just like a whizzing train. Whizzing means the train which moves continuously with making proper sound. Whizzing along. Mridu stared at that huge, bearing hand moving effortlessly up the violin stem.